Welcome to another episode of the TUE Brew Review. This week we are checking out Leinenkugel's original beer. These guys have made the news here the last few months. It was announced towards the end of last year that this iconic brewery in western Wisconsin, they're going to be closing their operations up in Chippewa Falls, and they're going to be moving production to their parent company, which is I think it's Molson Coors in Milwaukee. So one of these multi-generation regional breweries in Wisconsin that unfortunately is closing its doors, but the beer and the label will continue. So it just kind of underscores the tremendous beer history that Wisconsin is blessed to have. I think most people know, the big four in the Milwaukee area, Miller, Pabst, Blatz, Schlitz, but you had all these other really cool regional breweries as all these German immigrants flocked into Wisconsin in the 19th century. You had, Kingsbury up in the northeastern part of the state. You had Point Brewery in Stevens Point. Of course, Old Style in the southwestern part of the state, in La Crosse, Wisconsin. And then, of course, Leinenkugels in the western part of the state. So an interesting beer history with these guys. Again, multi-generation brewer owned by the Leinenkugel family. Jacob Leinenkugel, I believe, was the original. And they actually sold to Miller's parent company in the late 80s, Philip Morris. But it was kind of unique when they got sold because they allowed the Leinenkugel family to continue to run the operations up in Chippewa Falls. And they were amongst the first to do that. And now that's kind of become commonplace with a lot of these breweries that ended up selling to a larger conglomerate. They just kind of let them, continue to do their thing and produce for their market share. But something else I think Leinenkugels is known for is some of their summer seasonal fruited brews, namely their lemon shandy, extremely popular in the last couple of decades, and of course their berry weiss, which was one of the first fruited beers that I saw come out and mass produced by a brewer in the early 90s. So a lot of great history with Leine's. I haven't had one of these in forever, so I'm excited to try this. But by the time you view this review, they will actually have closed the plant. I believe it's scheduled to close sometime in mid-January. So this beer was actually made up in the Chippewa Falls plant. So we're just going to drink a little bit of history here. So quick look at the bottle. Classic 12-ounce brown bottle. Not too much information on here. I do see that it does have a Best By date, so that's always handy. And sixth generation brewery. So let's go ahead and crack into this guy. I didn't really need an opener because I think this is a twist off, but I'm always used to using an opener. So however you want to get to the beer, it's your prerogative. Okay, we've got as we kind of figure, we've got this nice yellow gold pour, very, very fizzy. You've got the champagne-like carbonation. Really like a decent amount of head retention. It's dissipating, but very pretty looking beer. We get those great American lager smells. Grainy, a little bit of like sweet corn in there. But this one I am getting some subtle herbal hop spices. A lot of these historical American lagers will employ cluster hops, and it's one of the oldest hop varieties known here in the United States. I believe it was brought over from Germany, but it's been grown here for quite some time, in just a kind of a very versatile bittering and flavor / aroma hop that's used in a lot of the old school American lagers and lighter ales that continue to be made till this day, kind of like Leinenkugels. Cheers. Yeah, nice grainy flavors, a lot of effervescence, little bit of an acidic sourness in there. It's very slight. It's almost like a sour mash, subtle flavor to it. Yeah, again, subtle, but it's there. But this really has, for an American lager, it's got a nice little hop bite to it. Kind of like that. Again, that the hop varieties that they use and cluster hops, they were, I wouldn't say heavy-handed with it, but definitely there's more of a presence there than what I'm normally used to in an American lager. Yeah, it's quite tasty. Light-bodied as one would expect. Again, effervescent, very champagne-like, semi-dry finish, but that hops, it really kind of lingers in a good way. I really like the hop presence in this American lager. And again, you got that unique sour / tartness, not exactly to style for an American lager, but it's not off-putting. I think it actually kind of complements and rides shotgun with some of the hop presence in here. Bottom line is, I actually feel like I'm drinking a beer, as opposed to some American lagers and mass-produced light American lagers that you really don't get much of a flavor of anything. You just kind of get the sensation of the carbonation. So this actually has some good flavors to it. So you get a chance, check it out before they start producing this stuff in Milwaukee. I'm sure the recipe will not change, but just the fact that it came from the folks up at Chippewa Falls just makes it taste a little bit better. So there you have it. Leinenkugel's original American lager, or as Jim Schwartz might say, Leinenkugel, Bird Legend 1967. Cheers.